te reo me pia tamai te kōrero te reo tuku I ho te reo oho oho kōrero rero matu kōrero rero mai aura ki mata tu titia ki te rai
E aku nui, e aku rahi nau mai tauti mai ki tēnei o ngā hōtaka a rāko Tahu Taxi. I tēnei rangi, ka tūtaki tātou I tētahi o ngā tangata rongo nui, puta no I te motu, ko wai atu, ko wai mai, ko James Daniels. Tēnā.
She fools around, fellas that she can't get out, the fellas that she ain't met. Georgia named her, Georgia claimed her, sweet little Georgia Brown.
Good to see you. Haramai, haramai. Ko au ka titia te waka, ko haere. Tēnā koe, James. Nā me whakawātia ki te haramai ki a Tahu Taxi. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. But I wanted today for us to go away and have some fun.
Well, I'm always up for that.
And I grew up with your voice. And just to be able to just talk to you and like I always had you from the morning I'd wake up going to school and things like that to now being able to interact with you. It's fun, it's exciting. But why did you even get into broadcasting?
I didn't have a job. No, I didn't.
Wow.
Well, I was actually, my job was, I was a full-time musician, singing and playing guitar in bands around Christchurch. But it wasn't a great living I was making. You know, we were surviving, and that's about it. And then I heard an ad on the radio about, would you like to become a radio announcer? That's what they did back in 1977. And I applied and couldn't believe it. I got in.
Wow. How old were you?
22.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I ended up doing it for 40 years.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
40 years. And I believe we were talking earlier about, you know, James and Ken, but the bar, that we're talking about, the karaoke bar.
Yeah.
You know, just many things have happened in that 40-year period of broadcasting. Do you have any favourites, favourite highlights? Or?
Well, you say James and Ken is Ken Ellis, of course. And he was like a rock star, and I idolised him. He had this gorgeous, rich voice. And I remember the day I got the heads up that I'd been accepted to go to the training school, he was on the radio that day, and I had a funny little cassette recorder, and recorded his voice, and then I practiced what he said, and he said, "Super 3ZB, it's 9:10. And I'm going, "Super 3ZB, it's 9:10. I copied everything he said, and then 6 or so years later, I ended up working with him, which was unbelievable.
Wow.
And so he and I started working together in 1984, and we didn't actually know what the hell we were doing, but we were just two guys who were talking to each other. He and I ended up having this relationship on air where we accentuated the differences between the two of us. Like, he was 10 years older than me, he was bookish, I was sporting, he wasn't. He was not brown. and I was quite, I guess in lots of ways, immature. Some would say fun-seeking, but he was quite conservative on the surface. That was the beauty of it, and that was the enjoyment, was that we didn't have a script, but he would know how I would react, and vice versa. Mm-hmm. Although I winged it a lot more than he did, he was very, very clever. Gosh, he's clever. He understood the structure, and he created that framework for me to perform in. And so a good example was, and this happened out of the blue. One day, Ken used to have hair over his ears. One day he came into work and it was all cut away from his ears. And I didn't say a word to him about it until about 7:45, which was prime time, you know, most people listening.
Right.
And he said to me, "By the way, you haven't mentioned my cool haircut." That's what he said. And I looked at him and go, And he goes, "What do you think about it? It's really cool, eh?" That's what he said. And I go, "Oh, yeah, it's okay. Except that makes your ears stick out. And that was just what I'd thought about. So, yeah, it makes your ears stick out. And he goes, my ears don't stick out. And I said, I knew I'd got him. And I went, yes, they do. Wingnut. And he said, don't you call me Wingnut. And I said, Wingnut. And he became known as Wingnut.
Oh, no.
And he's got this beautiful house in the heart of Fendleton in Christchurch. And he said, oh, God, people drive past on a Saturday when I'm cleaning my car out on the street. And they call it, g'day, Wingnut. And he goes, it's lowering the property values, he said.
Did you ever have moments where you went on point? So, you'd have your bad days?
Do you mean hungover? Once.
Oh.
I was hungover once, and suddenly I'm James the hungover guy all the time.
So the 80s, the 90s, Māori broadcasting started to happen. What are your thoughts on Māori broadcasting now, where it's come?
Well, look, I was mainstream all the way through. Māori broadcasting it's fantastic, it's important, it is in the fabric of this society, but a lot of people don't want to wear it. And with that constant noise, I'll use the word noise, of Māori, of te reo, it's great, and it's changing through the generations, I mean, I had a really interesting moment on air one day when the producer said to Ken and I, oh, Sue's on line 1. And so we go live to air with her and go, g'day, Sue. And then next thing you hear this, son. Mum? He goes, yes. And I said, Mum, what'd you ring me at work for? God, are you embarrassing? And she said, no, son, you keep saying rangiora. You know it's not rangiora, it's rangiora. I go, Mum! Now, I would never say rangiora. I would never say Waimakariri. But a lot of people in Christchurch do, of my generation, But the generations after me, they're becoming more and more comfortable with saying rangiora and Waimakariri.
Because of their environment.
Yeah, and that we're growing up as a country.
Yeah.
So, what was your question?
See, I love this.
He's riffing.
So it was all about broadcasting, Māori broadcasting, where it's going to. The other kaupapa, if we can jump on that, is tō reo Māori, your reo journey that you're going through at the moment. And, coming off from Mum is online telling you it's not rangiora, to now you saying rangiora. What changed?
I grew up. I took time out in 1996, at the end of 96, and went full-time to university and did a commerce degree majoring in property studies. And at that time, I had time, really. I had time to consider other aspects of my life. And then the reo was part of that. As I said, I was mainstream, so I was just doing what everyone else was doing, which I'm a wee bit embarrassed about, but that's what happened. Then around about that time, late 90s, I started to become more open and involved with the reo journey, and I've done a number of courses. I'm much, much better. I now can understand more, but I don't have the confidence yet to express myself.
What would you say to someone who is struggling with the confidence in being able to speak te reo Māori?
Well, as I say, the more you hear it, the more you see it, and the more you say it, the easier it will get. You hear it, you use it, it flows better.
Jaunga. Totally agree. Now, you did mention you were a muso before you got into broadcasting. And I do see you have a ukulele next to you. Is there a song you'd like to share?
Well, I brought the ukulele because it's an instrument that I got involved with because of my first of 3 father-in-laws. His name was Frank Wormsley. Frank used to play the banjo uke, right? And he was an entertainer, and so I used to watch him, and I used to, copy him. So that's why I've got sharp. So he used to do this song, and it's got a number of really cool chords in it. So I learned it. He used to do it in these shows that we'd put on as the Te Kahurangi concert party, and so he would do this. 5'2", eyes are blue. Oh, what those 2 eyes can do. Has anybody seen my gal? Turned up nose, turned down hose, a flapper, yes, she's one of those. Has anybody seen my gal? If you should run into a 5'2", covered with furs, diamond rings, and all those things, you can bet your life it isn't her. But could she love, could she woo, could she coo? Has anybody seen my girl? Have you seen her? Has anybody seen my girl?
Wow!
I love singing with the kids, with my moho.
Yes.
But everyone does, you are my sunshine, my only sunshine, you make me happy. But the funny thing is about that song is that it's not a happy song.
No. Yeah.
Why do we do that?
I don't know.
Eh?
And so what are you doing now with your time? Do you still do a bit of broadcasting?
No, I don't have time. I'm on a number of boards, and I've been involved in governance because I was with Te Runanga o Ngai Tahu for 19 years, representing Wairewa Runanga, and I'm on the board of Ngai Tahu Property. I've also been appointed recently to the board of Te Papa, the National Museum.
Wow.
And that's really, really interesting. A lot of things happening there. I do a bit of DJ.
Yes.
I do DJ, and that is I call it the R35 red light disco.
Wow.
I'm targeting people over the age of 35 who want to go to a venue and go to an event where you're not having to be compared with someone who's 25,
Yes.
I've got a couple of little acts that I do with a couple of people, and I just love it. I have a serious face in boardrooms, and then more of a fun face when I'm doing these other things.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Te pātai whakamutunga, hei whakamutu tēnei wahanga. What's aspirations for the future? Aspirations for Māori, whether it be for Māori or aspirations for Ngai Tahu as a whole? Is there any wawata or moemoeā that you have that you want our people to move towards?
I would like to see Māori embracing and including, more particularly, non-Māori, Taui,
Yes.
no iwi, and I'd like to see more New Zealanders, as we're generally called, be more aware of Māori issues, Māori history, but also the other cultures that have come here in the various waves. The human history of New Zealand starts with Māori, and then come the settlers, and then come those other waves of cultures that have joined us here.
Kia ora.
But Māori is the cornerstone.
Kia ora.
So we are here, we were here, we are here, and we're getting stronger, and I'd love for, as I say, no iwi to have a better understanding of why we're all here.
Yes. I love it. Thank you very much. E te iwi, ko James Daniels tēnei, e mihi ana ki a koutou, nau mai, hoki mai a tērawaki, mō Tahu Taxi.
He mea tautoko na te māngai